Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another RGL cast. My name is Jarrett, and I'm here with Spiosis to bring you guys another grand season. We got Season 7, Invite 6's Week 2A, Froyotech versus Witness Gaming, a rematch of the last grand finals from Season 6. Very heavily anticipated happening tonight, and I'm really excited to see what's going to be happening between these two teams and who is going to come on top. Will Witness Gaming take a victory once again after their Invite victory of the previous season, or will Froyotech come back with a vengeance and land another victory added underneath their belt? Space Ghost, got a big match ahead of us. What are your initial thoughts on these two teams playing versus each other?
I mean, I'm excited to see a rematch from Grand Finals last season. I'd also like to briefly point out before it changes that we have 12 people on one team, and that team is readied up, so 12v0, which we'd like to see, but, you know, in the effort of time. I do think that Process is an interesting map pick, that's what I'm going to say. Compared to last time we saw these teams on Grand Finals, I think Process is a much bigger change of pace.
Yeah, it's very standard. There's not too much new to see when it comes to Process from a player's perspective. You know literally every nook and cranny of the map, every single trap spot, every single little edge bug, every wall bug. It's more about recognizing what strategy the other team is going to play rather than kind of trying to figure out like are they going to pull anything new? Like no, you've kind of seen it all. It's just, well, rock paper scissors, what are they going to pull out of their hat, and what are you incorporating into your own team's play style as well? I guess there's one thing to be said. This is like technically a custom version of Process. It's like Process F9 or whatever. I think there's not any huge changes. If you zoomed around the map, you'd be hard pressed to actually find like a very glaring difference. But maybe there's a couple changes here and there that might change some small things. But realistically, it's the same map we all know and love. Same one from Pug Culture, and it's gonna be like you said. I don't really know who's going to be coming out on top tonight because this map pick is a little bit different than what we've seen between the last times that these two teams have played with each other. But one thing that is very different that we have to get in before we get too deep into like predictions and stuff like that is the rosters. The Witness Gaming roster is the same, but the Froyotech has a couple changes in comparison to the previous season. If you're just showing up late, maybe missed week 1 to get a roster preview, but I'll go ahead and go over the rosters. I'll go over the Witness Gaming roster this time. Like I said, it's the same as the season prior. It is Yite and Brandslame on Scout, Laz and Ash on Soldier, Artist on Demo, and Loagai on Medic.
And for Froyotech, we have May on Medic, we have Habib on Demo, we have Jay and
Mirror Man.
Yeah, Mirror Man. I derped out. I don't have the thing open. On Soldier, and we have Danny and Slemdish on Scout.
Yeah, two very, very strong teams, especially with the Froyotech pickups. They're perfectly fine replacements for the departing members of Blaze and Skis, in my opinion. And I think we have potential for a very exciting rematch of the Grand Finals. I'm not sure how exactly close it's going to be. You got a lot of talent on both these teams, as I always say. It's very, very hard contested, I'd say, to be the #1 team in NA right now with the level of play that all 12 of these players can potentially play out and bring to their team. So bringing it on Process, Process is probably going to have to come into factor, I think, when you decide.
Oh, definitely.
Or you predict who's going to win.
Yeah, I think, last season, at least last time we saw them, one of the strongest things we saw about Witness Gaming was their Soldier coordination. I think that Process is not a weird map choice, but it's definitely interesting with that because it's kind of considered a scout playground, so it's like maybe the scouts on Froyo can kind of overcome the coordination just because the scout map, or maybe the coordination from the Witness soldiers can be so strong that it can kind of overcome the scout map. It's one thing we have to look for.
True. Yeah, you have the dichotomy of like, do you focus on like soldier gameplay because it can be really hard because it's such a scout map, and it's who has the better soldiers that is going to be able to perform under a pretty stressful and difficult scenario, or you just say, hey, it's a scout map. As long as our scouts are doing well and are better than their scouts, they'll quote unquote carry the game for us in certain moments. So it's kind of a give and take there. You want your soldiers strong because so they're not weak links, but you want your scouts to play really well and have them play very strongly and be like a center point in your team as well, just because it's built for your class, this map, for the most part. So I don't know. It's gonna be kind of interesting when it comes to like maybe MVPs or players who are going to watch for both these teams. You got any? We've talked about some of the classes, but are there any players that kind of come to mind that you're gonna be looking at?
I think we see it on this map and just in general, Loagai making some really big plays. So I'm expecting on Medic to see Loagai, but May's no slouch either. So I think May definitely has the potential to also make some plays, because I think Process, I said it before when we capped this map, but I think Process is definitely one of the better medic maps in terms of a medic can really like keep himself alive and just keep his team alive, more so than on other maps, where sometimes you just, go to mid on medic and you kind of insta die. So that's definitely one player to be looking out for. I'm also I'm trying to think of how many J spoons we get this match. I'm gonna say 3 or 4.
That's totally possible. Initially, when I look at process and I think about, like, as a default, who am I watching? A lot of times I just go for soldiers, because I like to think of, like, it can be kinda hard as a soldier to play on process sometimes, giving it's pretty easier for scouts to find success, so it makes your life a little bit difficult. So if you're really good at soldier and you know this map inside and out, if you're able to perform better than the soldier on the other team, you'll have your full team at full strength. And especially with this team, like we saw the coordination from Ash and last season, I can only assume that's probably still there. And we've seen Jay already pop up as a new addition to Froyotech, and Mirrorman is still holding his own. So initially going into this match, I was thinking that my MVPs, or maybe not even MVPs, just people to watch in general, would be soldier players. But I'm in the server right now, and Slemnish is warping and lagging like nobody's business. Not enough to where he can't play the game. It looks like he's able to play fine.
He has the
but
Ultra
like,
Instinct lag.
Every 10 seconds, I just see him warp like 5 meters, and I'm like, oh no, what's happening here?
That's the ideal lag. You just go Ultra Instinct and they can't hit you.
So I don't know.
All the bullets just curve around you. It's crazy.
I don't know if that's gonna hurt him and make it hard for him to aim, or if it's gonna hurt the other team and make him harder for him to hit.
Even if it annoys you, people get so mad playing against that. I can attest from experience. People get so annoyed playing against that I can definitely say that it will probably be in his benefit in the long run.
Yeah, starting into the mental warfare pretty early here. You can just see it. You see him occasionally warping in pregame, and you're just like, oh, I know what's ahead. Even Yite's already saying it, like he's calling him out.
Even in the pregame, it's just and on that note, we are gonna go to our first mid here on Witness Gaming versus Froyotech rematch from previous grand finals where Witness Gaming came on top.
Yeah, quick preds, numbers, raw numbers. What do you think?
Ooh, 5. I said 5-4 Froyo again. Last match. I'm gonna say 5-4 Froyo. I'll be right sometime.
I think 5-3 Witness, but who knows? Honestly, gonna see right off the bat the mid going away. Both of them is going fast, not quite committing onto the demo mid, just playing a little bit slow, don't want to give up their life, and actually playing both a little bit spam heavy to try to make the other team weak from afar. No one's really committing. No high bomb. Actually, no one's taking the crates out. Everyone's playing extremely passive, which is extremely normal. Look, there's no one on the crates.
No one's even getting on the midpoint. No one's even gotten to the midpoint. Okay, finally Jay
and
did,
yet Logai's health though. Logai got so low from that spam from Froyo, they're actually starting to take some initiative at getting on top of the crates. He seems counter initiation. Coming inside a Witness, Ash can be the first one to fall. Gonna pull the trigger at least a little bit, getting some aggressive.
Artist is kind of hurt. He might be caught out here. The Artist is going to be caught, so that is going to be 2 down and no demo means they're probably going to try to steamroll this through the point. They still are kind of hurt, and Froyotech goes to take advantage of it. Jay is fake bombing in. Look at this. Look how much space they have. They're just in.
That mid was a very, very slow burn. They pretty much did exactly the same thing, except the big difference, Logai dropped to 50 HP, May full. Unable to commit your heals.
It was a pipe or a bow from across that. It has to be one of those two.
There's no way it was pipes. Iron Bomber doesn't go that far when playing that passive. Yeah. It was just raw rocket spam, 30s across the board.
Really?
And,
wow.
Oh, Artist dropping low. Scout in, Slem trying to get on him. Dropped pretty low, but not quite enough. So 2 men will not find a whole lot of success unless on the move in lobby, looking to see if there's a hole he can jump through and get a counter sack of his own off.
Yeah, I've heard from roamer players that sacking out of process last is sometimes like, why bother? So I'll have to see what Witness Gaming's strategy is. Ooh, he got behind.
Ash.
Oh, this is a huge play.
The drop! They got the nice air shot onto Ash, but for what he gets to, he got Jay as well. No medic and
Habib's
pocket.
So hurt. Habib might die. He's so hurt.
7 HP.
And there's no medic to heal him. And who's on Sniper? That's Slemdish on Sniper. So that is a little X factor there for Froyotech is, even though May dropped and Jay is dead, you do have Slemdish Sniper, and he might have the advantage of surprise here if he picks his angle right.
I'm not surprised to see him on Sniper so early with what we saw happening in the pregame. A nice splash on the Ash, doesn't kill him quite yet, but his team will get the job done. Bombing in onto the Sniper is Laz, trying to make sure he's canceled, and is able to secure the frag on him.
2 soldiers for a Sniper, you'll take that.
Yeah, no soldiers and you have ad though. It's a 5v4 ad. You can take this, but you can take it, but it's just a little bit rough about your execution. You have to play it pretty perfectly in terms of making sure there's no holes that you'll accidentally abuse.
Look at Froyo Zuber. Like, they don't know this, but May is only at 35%. They can literally wait for their spawns and just push this.
Yeah, Ash is up, and now they're starting to work their way through. Yite falls to a trap, though.
Help. Jay Spoon does get the force. That is a pretty easy force if you see a Spoon walking at you or jumping at you. And Froyotech still wants to fight this. Look at this. They know they're only missing Jay, and Ash is going to fall. Laz is doing a super high bomb, but he's not going to hit much.
And May popping up the air, but only a little bit of damage. Still going to be A-okay, and it's just Artist and the low guy left alive. I think waiting for their players was fine for Witness walking in, but it seems like the execution just wasn't quite there. The force with the spoon, that is not what you want to see. But I mean, that's a big respect right there. You don't want to drop to a Market Gardener.
If there's any one player you have to respect it, you kind of have to respect it for Jay. You know, he's gonna spoon you. It's not. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, pop going in. A lot of damage on the eye. Gonna back spawn using reset bind. A lot of cap time, but trying to cancel it the best they can, jumping onto the point with all their players.
There's a scout kind of in spawn lurking. There's actually 2 scouts behind. They gotta be careful about the point here.
Oh, just barely, and it will go through. Valiant effort from the side of Witness to try to block that. It went pretty long, but it seems like Froyotech just had the position. They had someone above in Nest as well, so that it would be really difficult to actually get out without getting shot in the back. So there were so many people in the spawn area, and they were unable to have any like flank of their own through like lobby or anything like that. So round going in Froyotech's way as we go ahead and go on to the second mid fight.
Yeah, Froyotech did a really good job, I think, holding points that round and just really steamrolling. We'll have to see if Witness Gaming, once they get an advantage like that, can really adapt. They had Fawubred, but the Froyo hold was brutal. And it looks like we're kind of going to the same mid as last time, just everyone just standing across the map spamming. No one really wants to do anything.
Oh,
nice.
The direct
yeah,
from
that was
Jay.
a massive direct from Jay onto Yite.
Both scouts as well. I think it splashed a little bit on the Grand Slam.
Splash. The
stickies on the bandy though, immediately canceled.
But the health is a little worse for Witness Gaming, minus the pick down. But it looks like Froyotech without bandy, there's going to be Habib kind of caught. He's getting sent to the skybox.
The arrow, no,
he got
arrow saved. He got juggled by like 3 pieces of spam, just straight went vertical up in the air, unable to surf his way out, and the arrow saved him. So he was still pretty low, but was eventually able to escape. And that's a big play from May to make sure that his Doman lives.
That was the rare, like, Habib dropped a bind and he didn't even kill anyone. That's how impressive that was. You know, you didn't kill anyone and still dropped the bind. That's when you know something really good happened. And
you drop the bind on behalf of your teammates.
Yeah,
they won't do it.
somebody had to. I'm glad it was Habib. And on that note, looks like we're settling into the classic mid to second process stalemate. You love to see it. We'll have to see how they want to approach this sack. May is I like the spot May is standing on. I believe there used to be pipes there, but they changed it into like a little ledge that you need to stand on.
It's pretty strong, although it's going to be difficult to actually surf if you are able to, like...
Yeah.
It's a lot of trust, because if a soldier is able to, like, connect in any way...
Yeah, he's on the point now.
Yeah, I think he was just afraid of, like, a surprise sniper, but now he's pretty sure one doesn't exist, otherwise it would have peaked.
Well, speaking of surprise sniper, there's our... I heard a body shot and a headshot ringing out, so Slender already doing good work on sniper. And I think Froyotech's going to try to peek up that.
Mirror Man! IT unseen! Oh, he popped up into almost Low Guy's model, but wasn't able to hit the other rocket
Low Guy
in the
had
air,
a really nice surf there. He kind of surfed back into Mirror Man, which is a really heads-up play there. Not what you expect. And they do trade last for the sniper. I think he'll take the end. They're just... Oh, they want to fight this. They want to fight this 5v4. They are in.
Yeah, so much damage both ways. But more so onto the Froyotech players. They have the hideout, though.
Danny's solo.
Yeah, they don't have help, but they have hideout at least for now. We have Witness Gaming trying to push forward and knock them back, but Ash is going to fall to stickies there. So for longevity of the fight, you have no soldiers, so it's kind of rough. And yeah, they know that the respawners coming in from Froyotech are not going to be something you want to fight. Back to mid you go, but Froyotech, they have an opening.
Jay just
is
a little closer. Jay's in really deep. He's just, he's bombing just for space. Look at this.
And finally commits, not quite hitting the mark though. A lot of space made, but not finding the success there.
Oh, there's the other bomb, and both soldiers don't quite get anything. Artist was so hurt that I think he ate like sync rockets and he still lived. So
yeah, Froyotech
down their soldiers here, which means it's on Habib to try to lock out these chokes, and it's gonna be pretty hard. And yeah, they're already in.
And Laz making some space for his team so they can walk forward. Ash jumping in as well. Some damage on Habib. Just got to knock Habib back, but Ash is not going to die. So
Yikes
behind them. Getting on to May will force them. They've dropped 2. At least for now, both soldier classes down for the side of Witness Gaming as they chase down. They're not actually... Oh, no, they are going to go for Artist. He's behind. Enemy lines will fall. Collecting 4 for that Uber. And I probably didn't intend to use there, but getting the force after that, this is very good for the side of Froyotech.
That was a full wipe. They didn't get a single player out of that. Throughout that entire fight, so many Froyo players were so hurt.
It was a hard salvage.
On sniper. Yeah, it was. May was hitting some really... The heal spread from May was like optimal there, because people were dropping so low, but Witness just couldn't commit and get that kill. Or any of the kills, really.
It's kind of surprising for the side of Witness because you're probably going for a force there, if anything, but, I mean, maybe they weren't going for... Oh, no, if they were going for an exchange, they would have just done it. They were going for a force, yet they dropped so many players. It was really impressive the way the Froyotech was able to. They didn't intend on using. May was literally underneath Spire and got forced and had to latch onto someone and just run forward, but still able to collect 4 and turn that into a full wipe afterwards. So now sitting on the enemy team second, they have an ad to work with after the whole thing is said and done, 50% to try to go into last, and they have it now, just gotta pick a door.
Yep, the Witness Gaming do have a sniper and a level 3 sentry to work with. So the alpha classes are in place. Speaking of the alpha classes, somebody's going to get body shot on their bomb's going to get denied a little bit, but Froyotech's ending this Uber on the point, so that's going to force out soldier bombs. And Benny's just on the point.
Yeah, I think Artist's debt or the stickies got hyper cleared. I didn't really see any.
I think stickies. I don't remember.
I feel there might not have been any. I don't know, but either way, that was a lot of cap time really fast. No matter what, they played. Yeah. Froyo played very, very point heavy, and that definitely goes to show that you want to protect it at all costs.
And like usually when you're a scout and you're on the point at the end, and you see a soldier bomb, you jump off. But Benny is 185, so he just kept standing there and capping and won the round.
For sure.
And, yeah, onto this third mid and potentially the last mid of the half here. If Witness Gaming can't get around on the board, we're gonna see. We'll have to see if Witness actually want to adjust their strategy. It looks like they're playing a little more left heavy than they did before.
Yeah, as we go on, I think teams are playing more and more aggressive, both of these. They're taking the crates much more, Brainstem falling, bomb from Laz, immediately going in on Habib.
Habib very hurt, he's going to get the trade on Habib, but Artist is bombing too, they want May. Oh, nice, that was a 4 sticky, I think, but still you take it. Mirrorman's in though, although they're chasing so hard. And just Yite is... Slumdish is still chasing. He wants this.
Yeah, he's noticed that Yite is relatively weak, and Yite's not really doing any damage back, but they're going to go ahead and get out of dodge. That was a pretty good call, making sure that just turn into a sack of even sack our demo at the end, just to try to make sure that May dies and just leave early. So
I think other than that one drop, May hadn't really died this match. So I think it's important. It's important to, even though you lose mid there, you get that kind of salvage there because it kind of unbalances things. And now I feel like we've seen this before. It's Witness Gaming pushing it to mid with massive Uber ad. We'll have to see if it goes better this time.
Yeah, I mean, just gotta be aware of the J spoon that forced you last time, but the J is in, and they immediately popping in, but they're doing a dome bomb, trying to catch as many people as possible. May has no scout speed! May has no scout speed! He's just in the corner and will eventually fall.
Habib gonna fall too, just waiting for the salvage, he does get it.
It takes forever, so Logai's just on the complete opposite side of the map. They're trying to clean up the best they can, and they're gonna mostly wipe them. Slumdish 9 HP will finally fall. A little scrappy, took a bit to actually get that kill, but they definitely caught Froyo with their pants down. They were unprepared to actually leave. May completely, I don't think he couldn't even latch on to Habib or anything.
That might have been a miscommunication. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I feel like I feel like they weren't expecting the bomb. Like, they got the force, but they were committed so deep with the force that their Uber actually got things done, which I don't think Froyotech, I don't think that was in their plan. So Ubers are gonna even, and I also feel like we've seen this one before. It's the mid to second stalemate with Witness Gaming having mid.
I mean, realistically, what haven't we seen of process before? If you think about it.
I feel like Froyotech hasn't stalemated out on their side of the map yet.
That's true, we're pretty early on.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Froyotech taking a while to push. All these Froyo pushes so far have been like rolls, you know what I mean? Like once they get their advantage, it's just kind of steamroll the west.
Once they take an inch, they take a mile.
Exactly, yeah. That's the problem with Froyo, is you can't let them get that inch or else it's kind of all over.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job of salvaging for now to lead them up into pretty good situations in terms of round conversions. So them being on 2, I don't think they're too worried, but Witness Gaming still in the driver's seat. Owning mid is always a very nice thing to make you feel at least a little bit comfortable. You can always just do very simple sacks to get the feel of how the enemy team is holding. They're taking a bit, they're talking about it, figure out what they want to do, but now finally the IT rushes are coming in. 4 of them entering IT, all kind of push through upper and lower at the same time just to poke and prod and shoo those flank players from the side of Froyotech out and away to gain some space, or at least draw them over there to maybe make some space on the other side of the map to allow bomb to happen. But at the end of the day, nothing will come of it. They don't see anything that looks too free. I don't think the plan was to bomb anyone from sewer or choke at the same time. They're desperately trying to get a kill in there. They were unable to find, so back to the drawing board. Looks like it's sewer this time around. No off classes still because no deaths, so just trying to get a feel of how Froyotech is holding to figure out how exactly they want to execute their sack.
I don't blame them for taking their time, because I feel like previously when they hadn't taken their time, things, kind of quickly spiraled against them, so I think they really want to make sure they get something. And there's how much you like to see the J Spoon, and barely lives with 11 HP, something like that. So that's going to be a pretty good opening pick. Ransom's going to fall very low too, and they actually get Ash in the middle of this. And Mirrorman's way behind.
That's a very big nuisance. Jay is actually in as well, causing a distraction. So you have both sorts to worry about.
So this is going to be tough. Feel like they might be forced to exchange here.
Yeah,
Jay's going to bomb a scout here. I don't know if he's going to quite get him. Jay's so good at staying alive. It's insane.
Jay's going to fall, so there's one less thing to have to worry about, but the Uber exchange will end now, post-Uber coming up. Height advantage for the side of Froyotech.
Oh, they get Mirrorman on the back end. That's important.
Yeah, it's going to help some. And Froyotech, being down some resources, they definitely cannot continue to push mid for the long term. So back to 2 they go. No slaughters, no spam. getting a little bit of damage onto the scouts that are entering, but with Witness Gaming all coming in, yeah, they're Froyotech's out of there. They know they do not want to take this 6v4.
I feel like, okay, people did see it, but unfortunately no one walked into it. So they are going to be able to take, Ubers are even, so now it's on Witness Gaming to try to break the last hold, which is honestly, sometimes it can be tougher just because those off classes make it really hard to get good sacks in.
True. Or it could also be considered easier sometimes in some ways. If you think about it, I've seen plenty of moments where because there's off classes, the like job delegation of who's watching
True,
each
it
door
depends on the off
gets
classes. Yeah.
it starts to get a little bit of
I just
like
think
muddy
of the sentry,
waters.
specifically in process last. When I say it's harder, I think of like the sentry in the power position on the middle of the point. Though that is impossible to deal with. It's actually so difficult.
Yeah, the sentry's very,
but
very strong.
You are right. On some maps, definitely, it can be a little easy because people just forget what door to watch because they're on Buddhist.
Yeah, got the gun on the point. It's not too aggressive. I think that's so that the 5 spam angle is not as prevalent. If you look at this, like if you go to 5 right now and see where soldiers would stand on the windowsill,
yeah, they can't really see the things.
You can't actually see the gun, whereas where you would
so
be able to
technology.
goes on the point. So yeah, avoiding that spam angle, pretty smart from the side of Ban, even his gun placement.
Yeah. I feel like you have to go from 2 or something.
Yeah,
because the
pretty
main
much have to go from 2.
The main reason why you put it at the front is so it can watch like pretty much every door other than 1, which is really easy to watch. But if it's back there, it doesn't really watch that side of the map that well. 1 and 2.
Yeah, can't have everything. Can't have your cake and eat it too. You gotta pick something that's a little bit on the weaker side.
That's why it's a good game. You know, there's always give and take. It's all positives, negatives, that sort of thing. And
I mean,
looks like we're going to see the lobby.
Though, realistically.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see the Witness Gaming trying to take lobby here. Branson going to fall very low, waiting for a bow. Jumps over the bow. I'm hearing people complain about that. Slumdish is, that's Slumdish Sniper trying to peek. Will not be able to get anything. So he has been spotted, but he's on last. He can do what he wants. And yeah, they're taking lobby really slowly. I actually don't mind this from Witness Gaming because I feel like if they want to take this methodically, make Froyo sweat a little, they have the time and they know if they beef this round and get rolled, the half's over. So they had 20 minutes to work with to basically get a round, right? You take that.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting to think about is the longer this goes on, your anticipation of the timing of when things happen, it starts to...
You also think, like, do they have a spy? Even though no one's died, people can run back to spawn. There's all kinds of shenanigans that can happen.
Yeah, someone could... Oh, well, there's a pick. So we have something going on. So Froyotech are in a spot. Oh, they know...
I respect that. Jay, the Highlander is... You know, I wouldn't consider Jay a Highlander, quote-unquote Highlander player, even though he has played, you know, top invite Highlander. But definitely...
Highlander weapon.
Yeah, it's a Highlander weapon. You'll love to see it. And he's on pocket, so he just has 330 HP.
Very strong.
Yeah, it's a very strong. Froyotech is like 5 people by 1. I think they're trying... Jay's trying to spam, and Slumdish is trying to shoot behind Jay. I respect it.
I mean, you said it earlier in the match that it can be difficult to get out of process last sometimes, depending. So that banner would definitely help if they find a moment where they can get some, like... Imagine Witness Gaming takes, like, a 2-man, and then you do, like, an exchange post-super banner.
I always felt like banners were a little underappreciated in last holds, and I'm glad that somebody's using it. Like, I always felt like on Sunshine last, like, some last, I feel like you can definitely have a soldier just run banner. Because they kind of... Yeah, goalie last. Yeah, there's some maps where it's just really easy to, like, fill up that banner. And it also gives you more health, you know. Yeah, so Witness Gaming taking their time. Oh, yeah, why is it not on spy or anything, just waiting? Although, I can honestly respect even waiting a little, because it makes them think, oh, maybe there's a spy, that's a good check, and so I'm just gonna fall to spam, I don't know.
I think it was a pipe and a sticky at the same time, just wasn't overhealed enough.
Peeking the doors in. They're actually trying to walk
they're in for 5.
Oh, they're making space for Blast Sniper.
Yeah, but losing your demo, I don't know.
Or no, Yite Sniper.
It's a little bit rough. You're down 2 for the side of Witness. I mean,
they're still in.
2-man, but
keep peeking this.
This is pretty rough for the side of Witness. I think that was a little bit more than they wanted.
It's on a little bit of an adventure.
Yeah, I think he recognized that there's no way he gets out. He has no ability
I'm
as a
surprised
sniper.
they still stayed in lobby after Artist died. Very weird scenario there.
Maybe they were going to go for like a surprise exchange and they dropped an additional player that was like, oh, and now it's all of a sudden not good. Yeah. That's probably what's happening.
Maybe
the slow crumble.
Remember the first match we casted the season with Laz with the funny weapon, and we heard afterwards is because there was a chaos and turmoil in the Witness Gaming mumble. Maybe we're having a little more of that. Who knows?
Sometimes comms can be a bit of an issue depending on the team. Everyone has those moments, but either way, we're back to square one in terms of stalemates. Although we're on a different point, Witness Gaming own control of mid. Froyotech have retaken Throne 2, but Witness Gaming still in the driver's seat, so they are still trying to find a way to break Froyotech's hold over the point they currently own. But a little bit of terrain to work with, a couple different strategies, less off classes, more mobility. So, I mean, last time they found success, so we'll see if this last bomb is able to do anything. May jump surfing, but the second rocket not quite committing onto him, so gonna be A-okay, all right. But Yite going in for a 2-man, so 2-man onto process second, it's going to be a little bit rough to
I wonder if
control all
JS
these
is dead.
doors.
He's still on it.
That's true. He is still
He
on it.
might,
He never
yeah.
swapped off.
A scout gets in,
Slim's
but
in,
he's
though.
gonna, yeah. He's trying to take a 1v1 versus a high grad scout. Knows he can't win that back.
Oh, Mirrorman
actually
in,
peeks the door at the perfect time, and here comes the force. And Froyotech is not the force yet. Mirrorman's actually gonna get it back and live for longer. That's huge. And he lives.
And
Oh,
Artist
this is a
dies
disaster.
jumping out.
This is a disaster for Witness Gaming.
And the banner's happening afterwards as well for the poster, but
That's
there's no way that...
huge.
So Witness Gaming can't even sack right now very effectively. Like, they can try, but Mei's just going to live through it as long as he, you know, surfs a decent amount to a pack. So that pretty much was the nail in the coffin. A lot of mistakes from the side of Witness Gaming. The two-man made it unable to actually hold IT properly. The spread too thin. Mirrorman is in, gets the force. Lose your demo trying to backward position out of there as well. So it didn't take too long for the script to actually be flipped, and now Witness Gaming was on their own last. Froyotech have turned things around, and now they're in a spot with it's not huge, but it's advantage nonetheless. Go for a uber advantage push if they so desire.
I wonder what Froyo thinks about how long those sacks were taking. I feel like Froyo might be even confused themselves. You know what I mean? I think Froyo's definitely not going to take as much time as Witness Gaming for these sacks. I just think they're usually not that kind of team. Sometimes they take their time, but not that long.
I mean, given the Uber looks like they're going with it,
here
in
they
through
go.
4, bombing into the gun, trying to take
It's a
down
level
first
2,
and foremost.
doesn't deny.
Yeah, Stickies are on the point. They are
They're
very
clearing the
effectively.
Stickies very well. Bandy's on the point. He's getting a lot of good point time here. And Laz is actually going to die to the Stickies. Mirrorman's above, shooting the heavy down.
It's like Wall of Witness.
That was a...
This gaming are just around their own spawn area.
Yeah, that was... I'd say very methodical from Froyotech overall. That was a really dominating half from Froyotech, and I'm really impressed at how just dominant they were. I felt like even when Witness was trying to push into Froyotech or trying to sack, I feel like it was just like going into a brick wall. You know what I mean?
It was a lot of Froyotech had some moments where they're in a rough spot in terms of they're on their own last or on their own 2. They would see like one little mistake that Witness would make, and they would hard punish it.
Yeah.
And you know, Witness would do that occasionally as well, but when Froyotech did it, they got multiple points. Things turned around really, really quickly. Compared to Witness, it would be like, okay, you get the next point, but that's pretty much it. Or maybe you get an attempt because it gave you ad or something. But seeing a lot of success from the side of Froyotech, a very convincing half, and taking a little bit of a look at the logs, it's definitely
a lot of sad DPMs.
Yeah, there's some sad DPMs in there. I guess it's to be expected for how many stalemates there were, and that last one definitely there wasn't a whole lot of spamming. It was a lot of like, let's peek a little bit and get info before we decide what we want to do, and then it just all kind of came tumbling down. But it's definitely very much one-sided if you compare a lot of the stat lines, like spare a couple of them.
Yeah, there's definitely some sad ones. Ash in particular, I saw every time he tried to bomb to make space to do anything, he was just vaporizing. I don't even know necessarily how much of it was on him, but just like, he would just bomb trying to sack just to make space, not even to like do anything particular, and he just insta-died every time.
And that's saying a lot because he's usually not the person initiating. I didn't even notice that. I don't think the Ash was like going before Laz either.
No,
so
he was like the second, like they're trying to do the thing where Laz jumps, then Ash jumps, then Laz jumps again, that sort of thing, and they just couldn't do it. Maybe it's the map because it's process. I don't know, but it was definitely like I feel like the soldiers of Witness Gaming just have like no room to do anything.
And Banny is definitely topping the charts in the kills. Went 14 and 2. It's pretty good for a scout. I mean, it's somewhat to be expected on process to at least do well, but to do this well is he's definitely having them under lock.
Yeah, I think you could just, I mean, you could tell us a rule just by the kills. The only person with a sad KD on Froyotech is Mirrorman, and Mirrorman's, I feel like, playing like the space creation kind of sacrificial. Like, he's making impact plays, you could see, like, the time he went...
He's gotten some forces, too.
He's gotten forces. I could just, like, even though Mirrorman's stats don't look good, I definitely saw some pretty standout moments. Like, the time there's a couple times he went behind when Froyotech was pushing out of the run second, and he would just be either such a distraction or he just lived for so long that it was an issue. Like, even though he didn't get a kill, him living there is important. There's the other time he, like, bombed in and jumped away with a pack. Like, Mirrorman's making some good plays.
I mean, realistically, Mirrorman is a player who will go Pyro the first time that it feels like it's viable to go Pyro. I don't think he cares what his stats look like.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
not a class
it's
that
very
bolters your scouts.
underappreciated type of player.
Yeah.
It's just the, you know, the pure impact team, the focused player. Doesn't care about their stats. You'll love to see it.
While we're waiting for the halftime to go through and both these teams, you know, have some time to figure out what they want to change, definitely want to go through 2 shoutouts. The first thing is definitely shout out to engineer.tf. They have an archive of a lot of the Highlander and Six's invite level STVs and NA. So shout out to them for sponsoring us and the cast and everything this season. If you're interested, you can go over to engineer.tf. They got a lot of stuff, including that archive, so you can maybe like look at some archives of previous games, maybe cast a game that RGL isn't watching yourself. You got some options, but it's definitely nice to have and to take a look at of all the invite games kind of condensed in one area. Very easy to find. Don't have to sift through the giant repository of every single TF2 match that's currently going on. Also, we have merch still available. It's been available since I think it was the playoff run of last season. We have the generic TF2 themed merch, and as well as the Witness Gaming merch that's themed from the congratulations to their victory on the previous season. It's all available. Shop.rgl.gg. You can take a look and see prices and different types of designs, as well as different like their shirts and hoodies and sweatpants and things like that. So you can take a peek, see if anything interests you. If not, maybe, maybe there'll be new designs later on that you'll be wanted to take a stab at. But that's all the shoutouts I have for now. Let's get back to talk about what these teams are going to want to change. Froyotech, they're in a pretty good spot. I don't really see them wanting to change too much. But
yeah, like if this is a close match, this is going to be like, oh, Bandy's so good at adjusting and all that stuff. But like, I don't know, like there's a couple times they had a little hiccups, but other than that, I feel like Froyotech doesn't have to change that much.
If your problems aren't really patterned, it's not.
Yeah, they were just kind of like little oopsies.
Yeah, it was just a stray thing here and there that it was like, it's whatever. But Witness Gaming, it seems like they are having some issues executing some of their plans. Like they'll be in a stalemate and they'll try to do something, but it just goes wrong.
Yeah,
it's too big of a hole for Froyotech to use, and then they just immediately they force Witness. They turn the 2-man into an accidental 3-man. It's all of a sudden you have to leave.
Into a 4-man. It just, whenever things go wrong for Witness, they go really wrong. Like Froyotech they're turning Froyotech's turning these little molehill advantages into mountain advantages. I think that's something Witness, they either need to stop the bleeding on that or do more of that themselves. Because Froyotech are only giving up little minor advantages.
We are live, though, going into the first mid of the second half between Witness Gaming and Froyotech. Froyotech leading 3-0. Going to have a little bit of a slow mid. Got a scout rolling on IT, but immediately a fast bomb from Laz committing. Followed up by Ash, using the distraction to bomb in. Mirrorman and Jay aren't really committing too much, but it seems like going to be a soldier battle in the middle. Super Slim going in to make sure that player is cleaned up. So one play advantage for the side of Froyotech, taking some positioning more towards their pack. Last falling, arrowed from May to kill Yai, and the bomb from Habib to make sure the Artist falls. It is just Logai and Brand Slim left alive, trying to get out of it, but Jay is there. A lot of damage. Maybe clean up from the side of Banny. He's in. He's trying to get some damage onto Brand Slim, but he's fully buffed. It's actually going to be damage onto Banny instead, who might actually clean up, but Habib and Co. are here. They're trying to chase him down through 5. He is in. Yeah, that seems like they're going to cancel here. They know they don't want to bite off more than they can chew. They see the Witness Gaming players have respawned by holding tab on their scoreboard, and they're just going to settle. They have their full ad. They're okay. They're taking 2, and we're back to a stalemate scenario after that mid with Froyotech in the driver's seat and Jay on sniper.
That wasn't a total disaster, but still not. You don't want to be holding last when you're down 3-0. It's definitely, at least it's not 4-0. If you're in this position and it's 4-0, that's really, really bad. But still, not ideal for Witness Gaming, but it could have been much, much worse. Losing mid and losing your med there would have been so disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just silver linings at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
you just gotta take what you can get.
If Froyotech beefs this push, you can still push out, but having to deal with that no-show push is crazy. And speaking of which, you do have the J sniper, and I always like to see soldier players off-classing on sniper, because then you have, so many, just more hit scan. I think it's much more impactful to have a good soldier sniper than, like, a scout player on sniper. As
especially
good as
on process.
Yeah. Also, I really like Habib's 8 stickies on the 1 door.
Too bad there's no damage overspill in TF2.
They're just everywhere.
I don't know, I think they know the sniper exists at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, pipes! Immediately clean up Slim.
Yep. Look at the Witness Gaming soldiers. They know they want to do some stuff out there. They're making Eat and Bone immediately take that damage back. So, looks like Artist is peeking up too. So it looks like Witness Gaming do want to try something here, but it's not tough. Brandslem trying to clear some stickies. Here's the second.
Oh, the drop! I think May was confident that he was going to be able to surf that first rocket, but it was not quite high enough. Laz making sure that kill is collected. Habib as well falling, so pretty good spot for the side of Witness. They don't want to rush us too hard. They don't want to accidentally get back capped. Yep, a lot of damage from the side of Banny on Ash. We'll clean him up with Slem's help, but at the end of the day, it's going to be 1-for-1 trade. Mir falling as well, trying to go for the backpack. Slem as well, but Logai's left alone. He's able to make sure the Brainstorm is dead, but Logai collecting the kill with an arrow. Another kill added to the list, and it took a little bit slow and steady, but Witness Gaming are able to take that drop, turn it into a recapture of their second point, and now in a pretty good spot to try to move into mid, which it looks like is going to be through IT as their door of choice.
Yeah, here they come, and they're just going to Uber straight through, and here's a massive call from Artist. He's in so deep, but Froyotech were just out. They weren't even in mid. And it's,
yeah, they were so far away.
Jay's still on Sniper, peeking choke now. And here's the problem. You have to deal with the Froyotech repush, and Jay's on Sniper. So if you let him have any room, he can see pretty much the entirety of the map. So it's going to be, you know, if you let... The farther Jay gets in, the worse it's going to be. But Froyotech doesn't have Uber quite yet, so they can still try to take a drive if they want. Yite is in, and he's going to fall. He's kind of getting caught out there in sewer. But Ash is behind. I guess they know. Yeah, they're looking back at him. They must know.
I guess they kind of figured that because there's a sniper.
A lot of time.
Yeah, I guess Froy kind of figured that because there's a sniper, the one thing that you could be really good at is abusing the flank is a little bit weaker. The timing was a little bit off for Yite going in. He got 2v1 in sewer accidentally, and they rushed IT, and it bought some time. So I guess Logai will technically get his Uber through here, maybe. Yeah. Probably be fine. So I guess at the end of the day, it works out. But yeah, you still have to deal with Jay Sniper, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Still a rough thing to work through. But Ash committing out of spawn on Spy. He's already all the way at the choke, so probably not going to be too much longer until he decloaks. But Jay gets some kills here. This could be rough. You got to play this fast. You don't want to let a sniper just get shot after shot.
They have no idea.
Oh, he gets the medic.
That was another huge drop onto May there. So I think Witness Gaming, they realized that they just need to get the drop onto May, and apparently that's what they need.
He's so deep, he's just dying. He gets two shots. That's too deep. Manny even taunts. It will cost him his life though. But yeah, that was. I don't know what Artist was thinking. That was so deep.
Yeah, it was all part of the plan. Oh, there goes Jay killing Yite. They actually want to try to kind of get this refight. Mirrorman is by sewer there. He's gonna get rushed by a scout, but gonna damage him enough. Jay needs to die. Okay, there we go. Oh, another kill for Wall Guy. The Wall Guy definitely most bet kills this season. Losing by Bet the Witness, very sad.
Looks like Froyotech's trying to poke around a little bit. They know that they're down a couple people, but maybe if they're depending on...
instantly.
Yeah, just trying to bait a little bit into some traps and spam, and noticing that if you can see that the cap says that everyone's literally on the point, you can probably peek choke a little bit, and maybe you'll get lucky, but able to find that, but staying at choke too long is allowed. May got piped through choke because he was still in grass. They overstayed their welcome just a little bit, but they do technically have an ad to work with once again, although this is very small, it's 20. So if you saw them just sit still and not actually push out of 2, and you wouldn't be too surprised to see that. But Ash worked once, maybe it can work again. He's up on Spy.
If you keep killing Spy, it'll just keep working. You know,
it worked for Alpha last season.
The more times you play Spy, the more likely it is to work. That's how TF2 works. You cannot tell me otherwise. Although, you know, the funny thing is that Witness took so long on their sacks before that they're kind of like, I feel like normally you'd be like, oh, they probably have a Spy because of how long it takes. But because Witness took so long the first time, like just trying to get those sacks. Oh, Ash and Labs both thing doesn't work, but yeah, I feel like they weren't really expecting to Spy, but they just kind of backed up, and Ash unfortunately died.
Loga got another kill, so he's at a total of 3 so far. So 5v4 scenario, Scout's a little bit weak. Slam is going to get the pick on Artist.
Yep, it's going to get Artist, so no demo. This is going to be tough, and they're going to take it. Look at this. They want to double scout in. Froyotech has got the flash a bunch, but so is Witness Gaming, and they do have to, at least they have the scout speed to get up, but Loga, yeah, instant 2 shot by Danny.
Yeah, they do have the scout behind though. Oh, the bomb from Laz collects May.
And they get some beef. Slamdish is still in, but probably gonna get cleaned up by Brandslam. Yeah, Jay rolling out with the spoon. Brandslam is just on a terror right now. Somebody needs to stop Brandslam.
That was a pretty good play. The timing was actually crazy because he met Mirrorman as Mirrorman was going through the shutter, so that Mirrorman had to take self-splash damage, which you know is pretty crazy as a soldier, to help collect that kill and get him behind and continue to cause a tear. So the timing was actually perfect, getting into sewer and making sure that he was able to collect that kill so quickly and continue to escape and take the pack as well. So Witness Gaming kind of turning around.
Yeah, I'm glad that Witness Gaming is getting back into this without losing that first round. But yeah, this first round, excuse me, because definitely going down 4-0 against Froyo is almost a death sentence. But yeah. They have the time to work their way back into this game, which is really, you know, they have time that they can take their time, which is really important, because if you let that time go to like 12 minutes and you're still down 3 rounds, that's when the time pressure starts kicking in. But, you know, they still have the time to take this methodically and slow and get back into this round.
Yeah, the second half deficit is going to be a real thing, because you could do well this round as Witness Gaming, but if you don't at least tie it up and completely flip things around, You are in a pretty bad spot for the
Yep,
longevity
Ash
of the match,
Spy again,
but
you'll love I just love watching spies. It's
Eh,
always funny.
trying again. I mean, last time they did 2-man with it, and it didn't really work because there was some RNG May surfed not in the direction that
Yeah.
Ash thought he would, so he couldn't
They
really
get Slim too,
decloak
so that's
to
a
get
good
him.
opening
But
pick.
it'll be harder to actually watch these doors. Yeah, Ash has to be careful of not accidentally bumping Jay, but he's through. Just has to find a decloak spot.
Yeah, I feel like Banny's in a weird spot to troll this, but it looks like for now, the Froyotech aren't really expecting him. Banny bumped into him and didn't know. Oh, okay, Banny knows.
They know.
Banny knows.
Oh,
he's might get, the
yes,
force. They got the force anyway. They didn't even need Ash.
May dropped so low. Even though he didn't see the spy, he was like, if a spy revolvers me right now, I am dead. He couldn't risk that, so he just had to use.
The one advantage of having the spy is, I don't know how Artist died. Artist somehow died, but... Oh, here comes a Witness Gaming Uber. Never mind, I don't even have time to talk. And Jay's actually on a banner, too. I didn't even notice. And Jay is gonna fall, and Witness Gaming do take this Uber. They have 30% Uber descent now, but they might want to try to push last if they can. It's gonna be tough. There's a level 3, and I guess they're just gonna like to hold the second. They're kind of annoying.
Witness Gaming have a pick to work off of, and it is spamming class, so it's worth it to kind of look in the lobby to see if it's possible to get anything. But they're committing with the gun still alive. This is a repeat mistake of the last time. They've basically walked into the meat grinder. The gun has made everything full stop, and they immediately down.
So hurt. That was. Yeah, I'm amazed that more people didn't die.
They're not buffed. They're down a soldier for the eventual force that's going to be needing to happen from the side of May, and it seems like the risk wasn't really worth the reward. Didn't really work out, but Froyotech, they have an opportunity to get out of their last. So
this is a risky push-up. They have,
lower.
Yeah, it looks like Witness Gaming, we're in a position to be ready for this. They're gonna have immediate Uber for the rate. Habib's still in.
He's hungry. That's so greedy. What?
Habib.
The confidence to just like go in, but it didn't really work out. Artist going in,
this might be a disaster for
Froyo. Locked down. Couple players caught. Mir and Slim are gonna die. One in lobby, one in IT.
They didn't even get second, which is why. That's why I was gonna say it's risky because Jay's trying to go for a spoon. Does not get the miracle spoon, so this looks like it's gonna be a Witness Gaming around. You get a sword kill onto May, so Artist has been studying the blade. It looks like Witness Gaming is gonna get the board 1-0. I was gonna say that like I thought that push out was risky because the Ubers were so close that they probably wouldn't get time to get second before the refight, and that's kind of what happened.
I would put $10 on Habib getting yelled at then when he tried to jump in.
I was thinking that too. I saw Habib die, that I could just hear Banny like in the mumble yelling at Habib.
Agreed. But new mid, new teams, new situation. Immediately bomb onto Laz. That's the first going for the surf back as Habib. Gonna be okay, but Laz is gonna have to go for something really quickly.
It seems like Froyotech's on the move. Laz is in for the
coming in. Double bomb in from the side of Witness. Not really fighting too much. Make a little bit, but yeah, Laz is the one that actually lives. But it seems like that's enough for Froyotech to actually back up. But they're poking around a little bit.
Yeah, getting a big pick. He actually hurts Banny a lot too. I think that might be, there's a lot of hurt players on Froyo, and I think Witness want to clean up. Habib might fall too if he doesn't get a miracle blow, but he does. All the medics in high invite. The wall guy and May are perfect players. They hit every bow, so you can't clean up those.
That's a pretty big high-risk, high-reward play from Yite that worked out really well. He just went in sewer alone, could have accidentally met someone at that sewer door and exploded, but ended up getting a kill instead from someone who needed an arrow. Bomb from Laz, going in, not going to find too much, but a little bit of space for his team. Yite's in, so he can get any kill.
He gets
is able to get Habib. A couple missed shots, but it doesn't matter. Will eventually get that kill. So 2-man doesn't get the force in the med, but you are down Dillman for the side of Froyotech. So if you sack a soldier right now, you know your lockdown's going to be in bad shape. So if you're bombing in right now, it has to be very good. Jay jumping in, a little bit of a fake, try to bait. Just a tiny amount, but not going to commit. Knows that it's probably just worth it to go ahead and sit back. Habib rolling out. Going to be A-okay to hold too. And yeah, Yite on Sniper. Going to be a first for him for this match. And curious to see if he's going to be able to net anything. I can only imagine he's going to maybe go sewer, maybe go top of crates.
He kind of wears I'm looking at his hat. He kind of wears my sniper's hat, except for the glasses. Duly noted. It is kind of just the no hat. Although he has the default. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it looks like sewer is going to be the play this time. Froyotech are going to eventually have to make a move.
This got immediately spotted.
Yeah.
Wait, Froyotech, look at Froyo.
Yeah, they can't let Yite take forever,
in IT.
So they're on the move. They're immediately going for something. They can't play slow.
behind already, and with full health.
Oh,
they
my
get through,
God! The shot from Laz and the shot from Yite.
Okay, I liked that initially, but they didn't have the picks, and then Mirrorman was caught out and could not do anything other than go for a miracle bomb, which didn't work. So this is turning into a disaster for Froyo because 8 people down. There's already Ashes behind him already, so Habib has a lot of places to look at. Artist is already trapping spawn.
Yeah, gotta get someone on the cap to keep things going, except the force is gonna go out.
And the Artist gets the trap kill to Mirrorman leaving spawn. Nobody called it. He's gonna fall for it, so I don't know about that, but
it's not really worth. But
in the end of the day, I'm sure Mirrorman's pissed. Artist said owned in chat. Psychological warfare.
True. At least they have full Uber Witness Gaming. They're not in a terrible spot, and the Force is successful. They're down a lot of people, though. That demo death is going to kind of be a thorn in their side for holding mid here. They're on top of the crate, so they have
Froyotech
fight.
has to be careful, though. They don't want to get Ubered on. Yeah, Froyotech knows if they get too aggressive there, there's just going to be double scouts walking at him, and they'll be very sad. So
Especially because everyone's on top of the crate, it's going to be hard. But Jay, in a surprise spot, going for the spoon, isn't going to be able to hit a little bit of damage.
Gets Yite on the trap,
getting killed.
That is a good trade.
True.
Love to see. Yeah, Froya had a lot of people by AT. Looks like they kind of were thinking about going maybe behind or making some, doing some shenanigans. But Froyotech's almost built up the full Uber. Witness Gaming has had, Uber here. They want to take this without using. Laz is taking kind of a 2v1, and IT love to see if he gets it. He does not get it, so Froyotech has 2 players behind now, and they're about to get the Uber.
Yeah, they might actually go for something here and go for an exchange of block at this point, considering people are behind. Yeah, Banny's through. They're trying to work their way through. They haven't even used yet. Witness Gaming. Oh, Art's going to fall. So much damage, and the Force is going to come out from inside of the low guy trying to save a scout. Mirman taking a lot of damage. Going to barely live with 1 HP. And they're out. He's not going to die. He takes the arrow. 1 HP is all you need. And Froyotech contain the situation for now. They have their Uber intact, trying to clean up.
They're trying to chase Slimdish.
Oh, okay.
Decent trade on, decent trade there, but Yite's taking a 1v1 Slimdish, so they're basically out of the fight. So there's not really that many people here to stop Froyotech getting into mid. It's just Laz, he can't do much. Witness Gaming have to back out. Slimdish actually ended up living in the end too, so that's a big play from him.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing that we've been seeing a lot. Witness Gaming are in a pretty good spot, and they try to execute something.
I think they tried to milk that. Like, I think they wanted to take out the using, and like Froyotech just kept staying in. They knew kind of what Witness Gaming wanted to do.
Yeah, got people behind as well. Wasn't really expecting that from the side of Witness, and losing your flank, it's going to be hard.
Yeah,
gotta
definitely.
deal with behind and
Here
in front
comes
of the bomb coming
It's a big Habib bomb, but Witness Gaming are already long gone.
They sent their soldiers in really quickly as well to try to attack Lobby right off the bat, but it's actually going to bring Mirman to his death as well as May. Laz coming in with a huge bomb to make sure that medic is collected straight over the staircase, and with only 3 players left alive for Froyo, 2 left alive. This execution was not what Froyotech needed. Witness Gaming turned that around.
Really well. I think Froyotech didn't spot or didn't know. Slimdish getting a nice 2-shot onto Ash in sewer is going to cause a little bit of a problem, but with the demo there, it's going to be kind of tough to live.
Buying time.
Yeah, he is buying good time. They actually just started cat mid, so that might have worked out. Froyotech want to fight this. Look how aggressive they are with, like, they have 10% Ubers. Froyotech do not fear these Ubers. They know Witness Gaming doesn't really like to take the... So far, as a team, Witness Gaming really like to take points without using, and I think Froyotech are kind of not abusing that, but they're definitely playing like they know.
Yeah, they definitely, if they could, they wanted to force at mids. They didn't have to do it at 2, so this leapfrog was a little bit deeper.
So
did he just triple sticky or something? He went so deep. It's just going to be Jay, the only person. Actually, Mirman, he took the pack in IT. He's trying to go 1v1 versus Yite, but Scout class a little bit too strong. Their Scout sneaking through IT. Banny is technically behind now. 2v1 in terms of the desk. Banny's going to sneak out.
Because they only have 4 people to hold last against the 5 of Witness Gaming if they really want to go for it, but...
It's a timing thing.
Yeah, it is a timing thing. Laz is peeking around, seeing what's going on. So Froyotech do have a full Uber at to push out a last, but it is kind of pushing out a last can be pretty tricky, especially with the back caps. And they don't have any off classes to really watch last. Like they don't have a sentry on last, so they gotta be a little careful to be preemptively trapping up lobby, expecting back caps. And Froyotech might not want to push out of this. They don't look like they want to.
Yeah, I guess they're playing it safe. They just don't want. I mean, okay, realistically. I guess in a way, it can make sense to view like just playing defensively as viable, given the story of the match so far has Witness Gaming being in like an alright spot, this, and then trying to do something because they're in the driver's seat, this, and then kind of screwing up, and then it all comes crumbling down. Maybe this. So maybe Froyotech's like, we don't need to try to force something so minuscule and so difficult when so far we've seen Witness Gaming make a couple of mistakes.
I hear the headshots ringing out from Slimdish, so Slimdish is having a good time while everyone else just kind of watching doors. And Witness Gaming gonna fall back, only losing 1. Wasn't even 1. It's just kind of a 1-4 trade, but they really want to get this round. You can tell they want to take this one methodically and slow.
Yeah, I think both teams are in that spot.
Yeah, Brandslam sniper now.
Froyotech's like, let's just let Witness Gaming make a mistake.
See, Brandslam has the optimal sniper set. He has no hat, so you can't even optimal sniper set. You can't even see his, the no hat is the best sniper hat. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Oh, Slim peeks the shutter right when Artist stops looking at it. That was pretty spooky, but we might be seeing our first SVS of the match. We've seen some snipers, but not with one on either team. And they're starting to get closer to the sidelines you'd need to actually get an SVS going down between Brandslam and Slim.
Yeah, we'll have to see who wins that. Slimdish does have a little... I'd say Slimdish has much more highlighter experience on Sniper, so personally I do value that, and it looks like Slimdish hits the headshot and the spam rocket ends up finishing off Brandslam. So Slimdish coming on top of that one, but we'll have to see. Froyotech So they're not getting too aggressive off this. They know the one pick they can't do super much. But Slimish is just in the lobby and trying to shoot some ankles. That's the ankle shot position.
Laz has got accidentally air shot jumping to the corner slide. It's a drive-by shot, eating one coming out of lobby. Yeah, I think both teams are complacent. They're fine with how things are going right now.
Yeah. All right, I'm at the point now where I'm investigating more hats other than just sniper runs. Bandy has a confetti unusual engineer. I guess you don't see. Yeah, Bandy engineer's quite special.
I feel like Witness are going to turn up the heat a little bit, or at least they should feel the pressure soon, because you can't keep this going on forever. Like, if you kill 4 more minutes, you're like underneath the 10-minute mark for collecting 2 rounds, given the pace of the game. Collecting that Slimish kill is very important.
That's an opening. Bandy
Still gotta get the gun though. Oh, getting the J pick is really nice for them, so they're trying to poke their way through. They have 2 picks.
I think this is their opportunity. They gotta do something now.
They gotta get the gun. They gotta coordinate it though.
They have 7 seconds to do something.
Yeah, Ash can't find. They can't get the angle at the same time though. Oh, they will eventually get it. Okay, yeah.
They still have to go. They got their spawners now, so they got the gun. But you know,
Habib
they get
immediately burnt.
May's really hurt. Laz bombing for space, and here comes the Ash bomb. They're not going to get any damage on the May, but they're just in. They get the force.
And Laz is a nest. Do they know?
Yeah, they know.
Do.
Oh, wait,
no, they don't. Oh, they don't know he's a nest.
No,
oh no, they do. They do. Okay.
Wait, is he gonna live?
He got out. No one was prepared. Okay.
Mirrorman 5. That was a millisecond away from him.
All right. The shutter was like getting ready to close. I guess no one was prepared to actually like take the fight, so it gave him an opportunity to barely slip out.
Ran back like a pixel. He might have lived. Yeah, it was one of those scenarios. Artist is taunting and choke for some reason. I don't. Maybe he's looking through a wall. Who knows?
And they're just waiting for Laz to respawn, so they can go ahead and go with Uber. Finally they turn the stalemate into something. It's dwindling a little bit because they're waiting for Laz, but yeah, they're on the move now.
This is risky for Witness because if they beat this push, Froyotech might just roll all the way to their second.
Yeah, immediately going in, blasted back a little bit by the gun. It has to fall. Will eventually die. A lot of Froyotech members inside their own spawn. No stickies on point. Immediately getting on top of it is one of the scouts to bring the soldiers over. A lot of damage onto the side of Mirrorman, who is going to be able to eat an arrow, but the heavy is still in play. And a thorn in Witness Gaming side.
They get the Slimdish kill. This might be a run for Witness Gaming if they're getting the kills for it, but May is about to hit his Uber, and they do pop his Uber. Lokai is out. But
running away. It has the scout respawner coming in. I don't think he's even a respawner.
Ray Slam was alive for way too long.
Yeah, he bought a lot of time, so I mean, at least still have your Uber retained, but...
And they had people to fight second, so they're not even going to lose second off this. More than likely.
Jay's in. He's alone. 2v1.
Jay might be fearlessly feeding.
I think he thought that someone was going to peek with him, but he is alone.
That was a miscommunication, because that was very uncharacteristic for Jay. But definitely, they're going to take advantage of that. They're going to get in lobby early to try to get this gun down before they push, which I definitely approve of. They have 90% Uber, so unless something really disastrous happens and there's no snipers or spies on the board, here comes the Uber.
Just got a pick door looking like they want to go through 3. Immediately, Artist jumping in, getting blasted a little bit by the gun, but will eventually fall, showing everyone in spawn. There's no one behind whatsoever. No one on Froyotech was able to find a way to get behind to make Witness Gaming split up their focus fire and turn around, turn their backs in any capacity. They just all looked forward, got on the point, baited it properly. No one was able to block it. And another round conversion, and we got ourselves a game on our hands. 1 round difference between both these teams. Witness Gaming 2, Froyotech 3, going into another mid here with only 9 minutes left on the clock.
I really like the way Witness Gaming has kind of clawed their way back in the game. That's what it feels like. It feels like they just clawed their way back into this very hard game. And I really prefer Habib is so hurt.
He didn't hit the first surf, so the second rocket was able to do enough damage to kill the third.
Too.
Yeah.
That was huge. Yeah, that was just an instant mid-win. So Witness Gaming kind of flipping this game on its heads. First half was all Froyotech, and Witness, it hasn't been as dominant this half for them. But it doesn't matter if the round score is, it is what it is.
I think that mid is a perfect example of why mechanics beyond aiming are so important on Demo Man. The fact that Habib he didn't even need to surf that. It wasn't that bad of a surf, but the fact that he didn't hit a good one and the first one was completely missed just kills him right off the bat. Mid over.
That is true. Demo Man, you really have to be good at a lot of things. You have to, move well, dodge well, aim well. It's a lot of. I can definitely agree. Yeah. That's a very good point.
If he hit the first surf, or if the second one was really pretty good, then he probably would have lived through that. He wouldn't have been able to get an arrow hit behind the rock or something. But now here we are, Froyotech on last. Witness Gaming trying to break the stalemate once again. A little bit less time on the clock, but I mean, last time things kind of tumbled. They took 2 kills right off the bat in close succession and were able to get down the gun. Even though it took a bit, when things started to get going, it was very quickly.
Ooh, there's a good pick. Yeah. And Witness Gaming left. That is the nice thing about the sniper. You get an opening pick and it just stops the sack kind of in its what's the word I'm looking for? It just stops the sack.
They're
And,
definitely done overstaying their welcome in lobby.
Yeah, they learned from that one pretty quickly, you know. Slumdish, it looks like he's gonna be rotating to 1 here. Probably gonna ask someone to peek the shutter for him. Jay is on a banner. We'll have to see if anyone actually helps Slumdish and peeks the shutter. Oh, but no one's helping him. He's running back to lobby. We do have another Grand Slam versus Slumdish sniper off. I'll have to see. Last time Slumdish did kind of come on top, hitting the headshot. Last went to 33 health. I didn't see what happened.
I didn't see quite either. Probably just
Maybe he's rolling
spam
out. Who knows?
maybe. Yep, they're trying to take lobby now. SES on the way, maybe?
Yeah, I'm that's what I'm waiting for, but I'm a stupid sniper main, so it's kind of the only thing, NJ. Slunish is going to take a shot on an artist there, so that's a big pick, and here comes actually a bomb in.
Found his way through too while the gun was being moved to a new spot, I'm pretty sure.
The timing was, I don't know if we consider that luck or just good timing, but that was like perfect.
You know what he probably did? He probably heard the engineer say the packing up line, the voice line. Yeah, as soon as you hear that engineer voice line, you know that you have like a 3-second time window. And if the door is not covered, boom, immediately got your way in and made it hit the surf because he was inside of the dispenser.
Yep. The Froyotech does elect to have a level 3 sentry and a Slumdish Brutus up top, so no scouts on the board, but you know that's like 700 HP between the sentry and the Brutus. That's a big wall of HP there for when escaping the farm DPM alpha.
There's also not a whole lot of mobility no one's behind it all to turn their backs. Everyone's just all crowd and spawn. Stickies are dead off the point.
No damage on the Brutus though. He's just shooting down at Artist. And he's gonna kill Artist. This might be Lol guy's already left.
Yeah, he's pretty much out of there. But they got a lot of damage though. They killed May.
Yeah, Lol guy's out.
Yeah, the execution at the beginning wasn't very good. It was a decent setup at the end. They definitely salvaged that. Yai is going to fall. So Lolguy isn't able to build his Uber to great heights, but it is technically an ad that they maybe would be able to use depending. I don't really. It's not going to be very easy. It's going to be like 25, 30.
Might have to respect it. We'll have to see.
Maybe.
Froyo were pretty heads up, and they built the second base spawn, so they know these Ubers are relatively close, and that if they build this fast, they can get this Uber. So that's a heads up play. But Windows Gaming do have like 25, 20, like 30 ads, something like that. It's like it really depends. I don't know if Windows Gaming are going to take this, considering how the game flow has gone, but who knows? There's 5 minutes on the board, and they do need to get around.
If they did take it, I'd like to see them dry early, which it looks like they are trying to do. They're trying to milk an extra 10% out of the Uber, so Froyotech isn't able to actually have a giant disab.
They're losing so much health.
They've executed this very poorly. Use does come out. Habib is stuck behind though. Downman could be very, very good.
And Habib's gonna die instantly, and he doesn't even get a trade kill, which is very good. Froyotech, look at that. Okay, I can hear Bandy yelling at Habib again.
Yeah, you can't push without Habib out, so Froyotech are back to last.
Yeah, if we have the post-game interview with Froyo, I'm sure we'll hear about it.
I guess Habib, like, he probably had a sticky prepared to jump out maybe, and then like got greedy and dead it.
It does happen.
Well, you can put it on the other side of the wall on the point so it can't get trolled that easy, but
yeah.
You can, I guess maybe he dead it for traps, because it started out slow, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, they're slow pushing, okay, let me get some stickies and do some damage, and then all of a sudden you're like, get out of jail free card sticky is gone. And
it was such a weird bomb too. He might have just like, he saw one thing and then it quickly turned into something else entirely. Yikes, he peeks and almost just instantly dies.
Level 1 gun.
Yeah. So they get Brand Slam. Laz is very hurt too. Might fall. Oh, he's so hurt. Look how hard they're chasing. They want Laz, but Laz is going to be able to escape with his life. So 4 minutes left. Windows Gaming to arrive at their Uber. So Froyotech isn't going to do anything with their small advantage. Actually, it was 33 seconds of advantage.
That's pretty big.
That was pretty big. That's
we're going back to a classic class, it appears, on a new player.
The Brand Slam spot, yeah. You'll love to see it. It's disguised as a friendly sniper. Wait, he's disguised as a friendly sniper. Are you seeing some shenanigans?
He's showing snipers.
He's on the Latranger. He's on the default watch, okay.
Yeah, I think he wants to.
You see that Habib sticky? Okay, he did it. There was just like a Habib littered a sticky, just on second, and it was bothering me.
Guns on the point. I'm curious what Bransom's going to go for. You have May currently by 1 and 2, including the sniper who's a free kill. He's up in Nest, pretty, classic decloak spot for spies, far enough away that it's hard to really hear anything.
Yeah, he's on stock though, so he only has a limited amount of time.
I can only assume that Witness is going to try to spam the gun to make them look at the doors to counter spam at the same time. No, early. Without even your team in. Now they're in. I guess kind of. He gets it. He gets the kill. It took a bit. I'm surprised that worked out so well because of how long it took, but it still worked out. Yeah, no clue whatsoever.
I must say, this is, I think, the most I've ever seen Froyotech die to spies before. Like, as a team, I feel like they're usually more aware of it, but for whatever reason, they just don't expect to witness spies.
Yeah, their paranoia is not quite there, but it'll get slowly built in over time as the spy plays continue to work.
I expect it to be fixed very quickly. Also, they have a couple, like, Mirror Man I considered, like, a kind of a pseudo-Highlander player. I'd expect him to be on that definitely way more next time.
He's a Sevens Grand Champion.
True. Witness is a fun fact. Mirrorman is like actually one of the best pyros I've ever seen in the game. Mirrorman is like actually top tier pyro. It's rare to see it sixes, but if you do see it, you're in for a treat.
Overtime though, immediately onto the gun, cleaned up right off the bat because it's on top of the point. Sticky's dead, replaced by Habib, jumping into the nest and taking over the left side of the point for the blue team, getting on the point.
This point time.
Three, and with the dead Sticky by Habib, they're just collapsing on the point. The entire Froyotech team is moving over. They're all taking the same damage. It is just Lolgai and Bransom left alive though. There's 2 minutes left on the clock.
They want to fight.
If they play, they know their red health. All those kills they've gotten, they've shown their health to their teammate.
You gotta get these Habib Stickies off though. Habib is so hurt that you gotta shoot Habib. We're getting him.
50 hit.
Can we get this little guy gets the
little guy killed. It is a tied game, but there is under 2 minutes left on the clock. If things go slow, they were going into golden capping and have to go for a whole other reset, a new half. But if one of these teams comes out really dominant and
this mid
turns over the mid, this could be a 5
to see
or 4
Meds
to
leaving
3.
this mid very early.
Yeah.
I kind of interrupted you there. I apologize, but
no,
going into this last mid here, Froyotech versus Witness Gaming 3-3. It looks like we are going to overtime here. We'll have to see what happens. Habib is actually sticking off his own. He's sticking off his own crate. He doesn't want to see what happened last mid happening again.
Oh, the aggression. Jay's just in, but he's not able to go deep enough.
Look at the
counter initiation
coming
from the blue team.
In on May.
In on the May.
They're gonna get May.
Inside each other's model though, cleaned up very easily, only 2 left alive.
It's Lolgai and the Scout versus the Universe. We'll have to see if they want to. Yeah, they want to leave. They know that.
Yeah,
if they die, that would be such a throw.
Yeah, I mean, if you chill here, it's guaranteed to just be overtime. But if you run in and accidentally die to all those Froyotech players, you could lose last.
Yeah, there's so much downside that basically not enough time. Froyotech might elect for a dry push there because they basically can't lose at this point, but we're going to overtime. Unless like somehow like one team kill binds, like as 6 players, we're going overtime.
Yeah, it's dead time. There's no way there's enough time. There's 24
seconds
left on the clock.
Meme off. Wait, there's Ash Heavy. I knew
actually, technically Froyotech could all in right now and like hard white, but that's not.
Ash is on Pudis in advance.
The Uber's gonna stop it. Yeah.
Ash Pudis.
Lolgai would like have to drop for that to work, which I mean.
Ash was okay. They stood still to type.
I mean, the game's over, so.
Yeah, no, I really like Ash, like, unrevved the type and instantly got 104 in the back by Scout. It was really sad.
It happens. So, I talk about all the time about the halftime deficit, where when you get into the second half, if you're down like 0-3, you have to completely shut them out. Don't let them get any rounds and completely amplify your own game as well. Like completely flip the script. And it doesn't happen often. A lot of the times one round will get snuck in. They do a little bit better, but not quite enough from the roll that happened in the first half. But Witness Gaming showing an example that if you are able to find every single problem and just nip it, just completely eliminate it, at least to the degree where other team stops getting rounds, you start collecting them, you can tie up the game and lead to a golden cap. And that's what we're seeing here.
I really like it as well. I like that they didn't rush. They took their time. They knew they couldn't afford any major mistakes. And they knew they had 30 minutes to work with. So after that first mid of the second half where they got off their last, I really just like how they slowed the game down. Even though it was like a little maybe boring to cast, they really took their time to get that back into the game. And I really respect that. I think a lot of teams who aren't as good as Witness Gaming would panic in those kind of scenarios. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of times you'll be on a team and people will change the way that they call and the things that they call based on the time that's left on the clock rather than just playing to your own strengths and playing normally. There's a certain point where it's extremely strong to be able to play comfortably and not stress out and play normally so everyone's on the same page when you're at that like 3 and under time limit for the clock.
Yeah, I'll have to see. I'm loading up the stats right now, and one thing I'll see is Lolgai had not the perfect game, but that was pretty close to the perfect game.
Compare the medic deaths. That is night and day. They were, I think, first half they both had 3. It was pretty even, despite Froyotech kind of clean sweeping.
I mean, even if you take out the spy deaths, which were a big proportion of those deaths, there's still a pretty significant amount of deaths in this half. A lot of drops from May, and a lot of times, I to quote the words of a very intelligent man, Skis, normalize dropping Uber, but definitely you don't want to see your bed dropping that many Ubers, and a lot of them were spy kills or like kind of lame kills, but some of them were just off of sacks, whereas that wasn't really happening to Lolgai.
Yeah, survivability was what's much greater. One thing that I think was, well, I guess that was more of a first half thing. I was gonna say that I feel like I want to see more of Mirman and Jay being on the same page when it comes to timing, because I feel like now you kind of talk about Froyotech's issues, because
Yeah.
you know, they didn't necessarily play
They couldn't get
bad, but
any of
there were
those big
moments.
advantages to push off, I feel like. Every time they
Yeah,
did, Witness Gaming didn't collapse. You know, they managed to salvage in some way, shape, or form.
they no longer steamrolled the little tiny things, as well as they had plays that actually worked against them. The Spy had a
Yeah.
3 out of 4 success rate, 2 of those being
Yeah.
medic drops,
On
one of them
last
being
too,
a
so like they
force.
could have checked, they could have done stuff. Like some of them were on other points, but like the ones on last, I feel like are more inexcusable than the ones. The ones when you're not on last, they can't really check off classes are a little more excusable in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to the plays that Witness Game, like they're actually doing set plays, like
Yeah.
they'll go in off class or they'll like try to go behind. And those before weren't really working to a high degree, and now they're actually working. They figured out exactly where they need to do it, when they need to do it to have it work against Froyo. And now Froyo's like, oh, okay, well, what do we want to change to make these actually stop working?
I also think that one thing they changed is even though on the stats it looks like they have a lot of deaths, I think just in fights in general, Ash and Laz are kind of not vaporizing as fast. You know what I mean? When they're doing these dry fights, I feel like for whatever reason, whatever they're doing now, Ash and Laz are able to have a much bigger impact in these fights than the first half.
I agree. They're not as much in the sad zone, even outside of the stats. Just like watching them, they don't immediately melt. They're able to jump around and actually.
Before they were just instantly melting.
A lot of them like to. I mean, if they don't want to commit right off the bat, a lot of times you'll see a couple of them, or at least one, like kind of pretend the map is a jump map, just kind of jump around and get shot at, so that your team has more space. And they're able to do that much more and melt much slower compared to the first half.
I will say, not to call anyone in particular, but I think one player that I see uncharacteristically getting caught out a little is I think Habib's getting caught out more than I expect from him.
I agree.
Yeah, I when I see Habib, I think it's pretty rare to, like, sometimes he derps out a little, but I feel like I haven't seen him get caught out this much as before. So I don't know if that's just a new thing. Jay too, maybe just because they're getting their chemistry down, but I feel like players who are I consider like Jay, Banny, and Habib to be like 3 of the Infinity Stones in TFT. You know what I mean? They're like actual just gods of the game, and they've been getting caught out more than you'd expect from literal Infinity Stones.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's moments. I think it's kind of split. We've talked a little bit about like Witness Gaming. They're able to enact these plays in the second half to make things as close as it is and turn things around. But I don't think there's plenty of moments I feel like for Froyotech. It's not necessarily that Witness Gaming did anything that was super great or like abnormal or like risky that worked out, but there's like general gameplay moments where you see Froyotech just not hitting the mark. Like it's one thing if you like backward transition and like, oh no, we accidentally lost one person out of that Uber, but like if that one person is your demo, or if you like lose 3, or you just let someone go behind and kill like 2 of your people for free in separate 1v1s, like you gotta make sure you're all on the same page, and it's really gonna come down to the wire. We're going live 3-3 overtime. First one to take a round wins. I'm pretty sure it's unlimited time, so we're probably in for a long one unless this is a clean sweep mid.
Yep. And one thing we didn't really mention that we probably should have is that Froyotech halftime adjustments, and Laz is behind already, so they're going back to a mid they kind of did previously where Laz goes behind, although he's actually working his way back the opposite direction now, kind of lingering by IT.
Yeah, Froyotech taking some positioning on the mid. They're taking up the crates at least a little bit, but they're actually ducking down. It's Witness that's taking their turn, getting some high ground on the bombs. They're coming in from the soldiers immediately on to be popping up in the air. Very, very low, but will actually
They're not getting any of the kills.
They're not focused
so
fire.
Hurt.
The soldiers double bomb to Habib, but Yite just rushes Laz instead. There's some trust and high risk. They're very, very greedy to go for 2 different targets with their aggression and end up killing neither of them. So just Artist and Lolgai
Artist is really close too. He might get caught out.
Yeah, Artist staying in to make sure they can't bomb onto Lolgai and kill him. He will give up his life, but it's very, very bad that you have to have the demo man be the person that gives up your life so late. Because now this last hold has a window of time where there's no stickies, and Froyotech knows this. They're immediately peeking in to see what they can see.
They want to win this match. I feel like they're definitely very not happy that they're kind of caught on their heels, and actually they have to play overtime to begin with. So I think they're gonna take any advantage they can get. Sundish is in. He's actually might be winning this 1v1.
There's
Yite.
5 players in. There's literally 5 Froyotech players that are entering. Habib will die though, biting off a little bit more than he can chew. And once again, Doman Def don't want to see that. Got a long respawn ahead of you in Witness Gaming, despite being down a person. They're immediately walking through too, trying to take the space, Ubering if they need to, but they don't necessarily have to. But it's gonna be Vanny getting Ubered. Immediately rushing into Artist, trying to get this forward. Moving over to the side of the lobby. Vanny has 2 people inside. They're actually going behind at least in some capacity. Has to be careful. This Uber exchange is ending, and it doesn't look like anything's really happening. Both teams don't want to accidentally take too big of a risk. Yep, just gonna go ahead and cancel things out. Stalemate had an opportunity for something good if it was granted to you, but they're not gonna go for anything too crazy. Just settle for
I think
6v6 stalemate.
I don't know if they're gonna say a heads-up play, but the Froyo Uber kind of like it worked out because they kind of Artist was in a position that I feel like Laura either had to drop him or had to pop. And once it became kind of an Artist solo, the Witness Gaming Uber, even though it was later, couldn't really do that much. So that was a good heads-up play from Vanny there to like know his target selection and what to do there, so that way that their Uber that popped first wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to kill someone in the lobby too, depending on their health, which I don't think he really knew. And maybe he just like immediately 2-shot someone, and then he's like a nuisance behind, and that could be really good for their team. So I mean, it makes sense that Froyo initiated that, because there could have been a high potential, it just didn't really work out.
All right, so pop quiz. I've been doing too much analysis because I'm not smart. You're Froyotech. What kind of sack do you do in the situation? How do you sack the process last? It's very hard.
First you spot the gun to see what door is the most open. You see that it's in the center, so you just go for the spot that Mirror Man did. But Mirror Man did it alone, so he's gonna actually give up his life for it. But that was pretty much the mindset was right. But realistically, because that wasn't a solo play, he just gets cleaned up.
That was sad. Last jumped into like just a wall of projectiles in the air and gets air shot. Artist might be caught out. Artist is gonna get caught up by Jay. That's a really big pick from Jay, and he managed to live there. So now they're down 2, and we might see a Froyotech very aggressive push here.
Oh, they're staggering
real
hard now.
They're in 2 as well. They get
lost
Ash.
another player.
This is disastrous.
And they have a heavy as well. They can't really initiate. It's just a scout that would take this Uber, immediately get onto the point. The Uber will come out trying to chase down the enemy players.
Some missions above, and they're gonna get Laz.
It's starting to all crumble down. No soldiers left alive for this initiation. Just scouts trying to get some damage on it.
They're shooting
him up, but they are able to clean up Wallguy and Giant and just Artist left alive. And that is a very slow crumble. It all started from Artist dying in lobby, immediately losing one, gun going down, and losing another as well. I think the soldiers eventually died after that, and seems like Froyotech just once again they went back to the roots. They saw an inch. They saw a Doman alone. They killed him, turned that into a full-on push. Great exchange. Great round collected. Froyotech are going to take that match 4-3 on process.
Yeah, that definitely the tale of 2 halves, and then the overtime was just one small little mistake really just ended up costing them the whole half. But I think Witness Gaming, I don't know what their expectations were going to this match, but the fact that they managed to bring it back from being down 0-3 at the half is a pretty good sign. That definitely shows that they're still going to be very competitive with Froyo, and if the grand finals are these 2 teams, I'd expect a very good grand finals.
For sure. I think both teams definitely showed what they're capable of tonight, and that we should all be highly anticipating the next match that pops up, and go ahead and take a look at the stats for the overtime, the golden cap. I mean, it's a little bit wonky because it didn't really last too long in comparison to an entire half. As you can see, Banny has the 6-0 kills, 0 deaths stat line, as well as May having a perfect half. So it's not like tons and tons to look at. Mirror Man and Yite weren't really able to do too much, but Habib able to pull out a whole lot compared to his counterpart and compared to Artist in terms of collecting the kills and putting out the damage. But maybe combined logs to tell a little bit of a different story. I mean, although realistically, with it being such a close match, I kind of expect combined logs to look pretty similar anyway. When you have a 4-3, it's like
I don't think there's going to be saying anything super. I will say I think that May's going to have a lot more deaths than Lolguy, and he won the match. So all those med deaths in the end, I guess, are going to kind of equalize. Not in terms of numbers, but in terms of impact. You still won the match.
I guess it kind of depends on like how you got your rounds in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Because Witness Gaming got the rounds via all those medic deaths and getting all those Uber ads, but Froyotech didn't get it from actually killing Lolguy, but just killing so many players on Witness Gaming and turning things around. They were able to get point after point after point, even though it wasn't necessarily a medic death that was collected. It was just raw numbers.
Looking at the logs, maybe Ash and Laz did their part to boost the Froyotech damage numbers because they're on Soldier in process. It's kind of inevitable, but I will say the logs are more Froyotech sided than I think you'd expect for a 4-3.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind with the soldier deaths though is when you think of stalemates and the sacks were pretty much I would say like 75% of the people initiating sacks were the side of witness. So
Yes.
like seeing a lot of the
That's
soldier
true,
deaths
yeah.
makes sense. But Froyotech wouldn't necessarily counter sack all the time. Like
Yeah, they
sometimes they
just get
send a
something
mirror,
to roll.
but because a lot of the execution for witness was a little bit, it left something to be desired in some of those sacks. Froyotech would straight up push, and they wouldn't like send their soldiers to the grave to try to get a force.
Yeah. Also, yeah, we did talk about the Habib deaths, but Habib actually went 27-13, so overall, looks like he had a pretty good game. And meanwhile, Artist did have 20 deaths, so maybe that's just a factor of dying in the kind of fights that Froyotech did, but definitely more deaths from Witness Gaming than I expect considering the score. That's all I'm gonna say.
Just a difference of looking at moments that might have been really good or really bad compared to like the grand scheme of the match that
Yeah.
goes on, I suppose, and especially with how differently the two halves were. But we do have some players in here. It's going to be some familiar faces from yesterday. We do have Banny and Habib here. Hello, congratulations on your victory. It was quite the long one.
Yeah, it was a
GGs.
match, that's for sure.
GG's only.
All right, well, going into process, pretty cookie cutter. Any particular thoughts about playing these teams, particularly on this map, given it's kind of scout favored? Sometimes soldiers have a little bit of a struggle. Any things that you're trying to look for going into it?
We were looking for a lot of things. We weren't looking for spies.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was about
That's
it.
an easy fix, though. At least you can check for one,
When it comes to
Yeah, we should just get a pyro. That'll
perfect,
Not like
just
the
have
spy,
Mirror.
the spy
Just
thing in Spawn, the
Yeah.
3D model.
well.
careful.
Yeah.
If you say you need a pyro, Mirror Man's gonna jump on that and just
Yeah,
volunteer
that's-
immediately.
Honestly, we should run Mirror Man on pyro more often.
And I dropped it in the hat. That Mirror Man's like one of the best pyros in the game. It's little known technology.
So let's talk about the first half. What do you think are some of the things that led you guys to such a strong beginning? It was a pretty clean sweep 3-0. A lot worked out for you guys.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think we had good mids for the most part in the first half. And we were just kind of taking it one step at a time. There were really no huge surprises or like crazy intense moments. I feel like that's where they thrive. They caught us a lot in just like the chaos moments. So I think the first half we did a good job of like controlling the pace mostly.
Yeah.
And that was why we were able to have a strong lead. Then Habib bombed
All
into
right,
their whole team,
listen.
and it was all downhill from there.
Listen.
Any thoughts,
Okay,
Habib?
I had an idea. Okay, I had a vision. 5 of them clumped up at choke. The massive
Habib
kill
thinks he's
feed.
in a frag video.
FaZe Clan Habib. And let's just say that was the hardest throw of my entire career. All 20 seasons or however long I've been playing. Let's just say that
I was in utter disbelief.
That was
We were.
I was listen. MK Ultra. I was possessed. You don't understand. That wasn't me. I
Damn.
promise you. I
Witness
came back.
Gaming has the
It was
fucking
MK Ultra. They were
mind
trying to get me.
control, and
They
they
were
can't
trying
even
to get
beat
me.
you. Damn.
They were
all the
trying to get
people-
me. MK Ultra. I was getting controlled by a ventriloquist across the map.
All your people
Something
asking
happened
you
to me.
for Habib's frags 4 is finally getting to your head. You just see the frag movie moments happening. It's like, I
think
gotta
need
go
to-
for
if
it.
I think I need to release the video, and then I won't be in frag movie anymore.
Yeah,
I need to just release the video.
Habib
probably the
releasing
safest bet.
videos. Lol.
So I got
True.
possessed. Do not do what you saw me do there. That's a classic Habib bombed into 4 people, exposed instantly, and then we lose. Yeah, that was horrible.
Well, the second half was a little bit of a different story, obviously. I mean, going into I assume the halftime, there's probably not too much to talk about, given you just come off of a 3-0 and you're feeling confident about what you just put onto the table against the other team. But what do you feel like changed that kind of turned things in the other direction? Maybe a little bit of like what you were doing in particular, maybe things that they started to change up. What do you think really happened that kind of flipped the script?
It was a lot of like the spy stuff and people just slipping through. Like, there was one moment where I like lifted my sentry for 1 second and Laz like instantly bombed and got the force. They were just finding a lot more openings, I would say. And then kind of like I mentioned before, just the chaos as well. Like, there were times where we got a few picks and we would try to chase, but then they'd take the exchange and it would somehow still not go our way. I think that those chaotic moments, they just tend to thrive in. So that was mostly it. And it was kind of just like, yeah, it was kind of a bit of a crumble to be honest. I don't know. We were just a few of us were getting a little annoyed or frustrated, I think. So I think we needed the overtime pre-game to recollect our thoughts.
Maybe, yeah, I was gonna say maybe the strat is you let Froyo roll you the first half, so Banny can't halftime adjust against you.
Honestly,
Strategy.
yeah. If we were down 3-0,
And then
you know,
they
maybe
3-0'd
we.
us. We chilled in the halftime.
Well,
And let us
yeah.
beat them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh!
We were able to adapt for the overtime, so that's the secret. But
Halftimes
that's
is
a
what causes
dangerous game to play, you know.
That's
at
certainly a gambit.
halftime. I had to make it a banger. I had to throw on purpose.
True.
Well, I guess a little bit of a more general questions, considering it's not too often that we see overtime games. I mean, they happen occasionally, but generally they can be pretty high stress. It's pretty close. It's a nail biter, one mistake, and it all comes toppling down. You guys came out on top this time around. But do you have any general thoughts or a philosophy on like the mental or the mindset that you or a team should go through when they're in a high stakes scenario where it's really really close and one mistake can completely end everything?
I think staying focused, and staying positive, staying confident. I think that those are the most important things. If you start like cowering and fearing and getting distracted or anything like that, you're just going to create more opportunities for the enemy team to beat you. Um, we definitely had some intense moments in our in our comms, and I think that we maybe too much got caught up in that when we could have stayed focused and maybe stopped the bleeding a bit in the second half. But once we were able to do it in the the overtime, it went well. I think yeah, just talking about what you want to do and always knowing and believing and telling each other that you can win. Because if you go in and you're just like emoing or feeling very dejected or whatever, you're probably gonna bring down the team morale, and you're very unlikely to win.
Do you share the same sentiment, Habib?
Yeah, let's just say my team wasn't very happy with me. I received the roasting, the scolding, but the key is you gotta just acknowledge the mistake, keep the positivity up, and then yeah, just clap them.
All right, that's
Yeah.
fair. Someone's got to be a punching bag every now and then. Someone's got to be the rock.
Habib knows that is his job, so and he takes it well. He's got a thick skin.
It's always nice.
Thick
Right.
skull. Brain size varies though from day to day. Sometimes it's big brain, sometimes it's eye freeze.
Any questions from you, Space?
No, I'm good.
All right, I guess the last one before we head out to shoutouts is, I mean, this is a rematch of the grand finals is probably going to be number one. But do you have any upcoming matches in the next couple weeks that you're maybe looking forward to, that, or maybe might be close, or you're interested in what the result's going to be, whether it's your own team or maybe some of the upcoming matches between two different teams?
Well, to be honest, we kind of just got our two biggest matches out of the way for the first half of the season this week. Playing G6 yesterday and now WG tonight. So it'll be a few weeks before we have to face them again. We still have to play Mal, but after last night, they may be in shambles. So we'll see. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think every other team is kind of just I don't know. They're not quite as powerful,
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's in store for the rest of the season, and
Yeah.
definitely anticipating the rematch that will probably happen like week 6-ish, maybe, depending.
Yeah. I will say though, I want to see Patty's team win some matches. I want to see them, uh I don't know. I'm rooting for them since Patty's a longtime teammate of mine and a fellow team leader that I
Mhm.
respect. So I just want to see if he can pull it off, be the underdogs that wins a match.
Well, maybe we'll cast him eventually. That could be pretty hype. I'll have to wait and see. I think it's time to move over to the shoutout phase, though, before we go ahead and close out the stream. Do you guys have any shoutouts before we end things?
Of course. Shout out to everyone who tuned into the match. Looked like there was quite the crowd. I know you guys love to see that high level TF2. Well, I love to play it. Hopefully there will be plenty more of it for years to come. Always a pleasure to play in RGL, the greatest league in North America. And I just want to give words of encouragement to everyone who's competing and trying their best, trying to stay on the grind, stay focused, eye on the prize, trying to become the best version of themselves, trying to climb up those ranks until they can one day be featured on the RGL stream as the the invite match of the week. Besides that, shout out to my teammates for bringing it back, even though we had a slippery slope in the second half. And shout out to the haters. Some people losing some channel points tonight, baby.
True, very hotly contested. Any shout-outs from you, Habib?
Yeah, shout outs to you guys, obviously killing it as usual on the cast. Shout outs to Witness Gaming, man. These guys are something else. This is the competition that honestly I live for. It's insane. Give them even an inch and they will take it. I like it. I like this competition that we have going on right now. Extremely high level. And as Bani said, hopefully the people watching, they grind and stuff. One day they'll be at the top with us, maybe against us. We'll see what happens. And yeah, that's to the viewers.
Anything from you, Space?
Shout out to production, shout out to all that thing. Also, shout out to the fact that people are still updating the new maps. Like, I don't know if it changed that much, but it's nice to see that people are giving, even the current staple maps some little love with updates and that kind of stuff. You always like to see those kind of bug fixes. And I don't think they broke anything too, which is also a plus. That happens sometimes. So shout out to that. And yeah, that's it.
All right, I'm taking your ski shout out because you forgot it.
I'm delaying it, but that's fine.
You're delaying it. Okay. Well, definitely shout out to all the viewers for hanging out, especially the ones that are staying for the interview process. We've got some people trickled out, but still have some people here to hang out with us. So thank you. Shout out to the players and the teams for coming out and playing this match. You can't have nail biters like this with the teams in the server, giving it their all. So definitely huge shout out to them. Definitely shout out to one last thing for engineer.tf. Once again, got an archive of a bunch of high-level STVs of Sixes and a Highlander. You can check out engineer.tf to see what that's all about, as well as the merch team that made the merch. It's currently available on the shop. It's still available. You can find links in the chat. I think it's shop.rgl.gg as well. So it's definitely some nice stuff you want to check out. But if you want to check out more action, I think there's a game tomorrow, maybe. I think there is. I think it's Mal versus Witness, so it might be interesting to see. And if you want to wait a little bit longer and maybe you want to catch some Highlander action for a change of pace from all the Sixes, that always happens every Monday. But for tonight, that is it for us. I've been Jarrett, casting with Space Girls with Dolphin on production. Thank you and good night.
Good night.